Welcome to the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast. You are now part of a small underground movement of dent technicians from all over the world. We are on a mission to change our industry with innovation, intelligence, and skill. But because we don't rely on an insurance company to steer customers our way, we need to do things different. We need to do things smarter. We do that through a network of technicians that we call the Tactical Tech Movement. Now let's get this revolution started. Hey, what's up here, everybody? That was a horrible intro.
That was very horrible.
That's horrible. And this is John Hiley with the Tactical Dent Tech Podcast, chilling here with Angela Hiley.
Yes.
She likes it when I sing to her.
Mm-hmm.
They call me, you know, they used to call me when I sing, right?
What?
The pink panty dropper.
Oh, God. Hey, why don't you sing us a song? Sing us. Drop us a line.
Honestly, I don't think everybody who's listening to this brought a change of underwear.
You don't have to sing.
Honestly, I really think I'd be getting a lot of bills for wet underwear.
Why don't you do a little rappy rap?
I just can't.
Come on. You can't just drop a line.
I just don't want everybody to, have to go to Walmart and buy a new pair of underwear.
You're such a turd. Did I put you on the spot? I can't think of anything.
So what's up, everybody? And you know what we're going to be talking about today on the Tactical Podcast here? I think it's going to be more of like a Tactical Tuesday, although this is our main podcast. But we're going to talk a little bit about if you have not been literally hiding under a rock, you would notice that Tactical Dent Tech Facebook group, we have been having a massive before and after competition, videos, photos, and every time we do it, it just seems things get even more intense, and things, people bring some repairs that are just absolutely phenomenal.
It goes crazy.
We literally just seen a guy who, it would be the equivalent of taking a door off of a vehicle, putting it on the ground, and running over it with my dually, and then picking it up and working it back to shape. Literally, that is exactly what basically the door looked like.
It's so dramatic.
She didn't even know what it was.
I was like, what the hell is
what is that balled up piece of metal right there? And the guy's probably like, I am from Brazil. This door is worth $100, whatever. But, and I get it. Like, some Americans are like, why? That's the first thing we say. Well, hell, why would anybody do that?
Oh, my God.
Well, guess what, man? If you do that shit, every dent you do after that's going to be pretty fucking easy.
Yeah.
That people don't realize that. People don't realize the value in that. People always ask me, like, why are you doing these big, nasty dents? Not even anything close to what that was.
That dude was pushing himself.
Yeah, that was literally next level.
He's like, I will not be defeated. Basically,
something that was totally would be deemed impossible, making it possible, is basically what happened on that one. Mm-hmm. And what's amazing by just that is that every time we have a contest like this, every time folks come from overseas and folks here like Bryce Kelly that did a phenomenal job on, I think he probably won the competition, and which is insanity. I mean, and the dent that he did was absolutely insane. And literally it pushes all of us to become better. We see the possibilities, and sometimes it takes somebody to open up them possibilities before we begin to see that we could actually travel down that road or travel down that path,
Yeah.
It's kind of like the, I want to say it's the 4-minute mile. And I'm pretty damn sure it would be the 4-minute mile. I better Google that here while we're talking, honey.
The 4-minute mile.
The 4-minute
mile. Zam might have to correct you.
He might fuck me up and say it was the 1-minute mile, right?
No, there is no way in hell somebody was able to run a mile in 1 minute.
Right.
There's no way. That's like the Roadrunner.
Yep. Let's see here. And I'm going to tell you guys exactly who ran this as well.
Did he run it on like a treadmill or something?
No, this is a straight up just ran it.
Huh?
Let me see it. I'm going to go to the 4-minute mile. And I'm pretty damn sure that is absolutely it. It was the 4-minute mile. And so basically what had happened was it was ran by Roger Bannister back in 1954. And every person, every runner up until 1954 basically thought that the 4-minute mile was impossible.
Like, where's this guy from?
This guy right here is from the USA. So,
oh, really? Does it say what state he did it in?
It probably does if we read the whole article.
Oh.
But looking at it right here, we've got the Roger Bannister who ended up doing the 4-minute mile. And from my understanding, what had happened after that is that just because of people seeing that it was possible, they literally started doing it one after the next that following year.
Was he a little guy?
Probably. I mean, I think everybody back then looked little, but by no means was he super tiny.
No, he wasn't little. I mean, like short. He's just like a tall, skinny dude.
Yeah, and but the whole point of it is
he
that
had long legs. That's why he was able to do it.
Could be, yeah, could be, and I'm sure a short dude probably went and did it, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, a lot of times we don't really push ourselves to our full potential until we see other people do something that exceeds what we thought was possible.
It inspires us.
It inspires us, right? So that's the way I feel about these dent contests that we have.
Yeah.
We literally, not only do we, people come out of the woodwork that we've never seen before.
Yeah.
But also, like for instance, Wade ended up bringing a guy up who does absolutely incredible work.
He said it was all over.
Yeah, it was all over by bringing this guy into the contest. So, going back to the contest, we're actually the winner of the contest is going to get a Gorilla Grip, and then second place is going to get a tactical hammer. So we're going to be announcing that. That would be this evening. However, this will already have been announced on the Tactical Dent Tech
done
group
and over with
by the time you hear this podcast, because this is going to be dropping the day after.
Yeah.
So we're still going to see. I mean, there's still people liking and there's still people commenting. And that was one of the big things that I wanted to integrate into a contest is not only the importance of people liking your actual repair, but the importance of the dialogue and the conversation.
Yeah.
So I always encourage people whenever they put a repair up there, whenever they put a job that they've done, to literally talk about it, open up some dialogue, try to get people to ask you questions on perhaps how it was done.
Yeah, and don't be like no shithead and be like being rude to somebody if they ask just a question that might be like that individual thinks it's an answer that you should already know.
And
you know what I'm saying?
The thing is that we don't get a lot of that in the tactical group.
No.
I've seen that in a lot of other groups, but for whatever reason, we've created a culture of people that seem to be willing to help each other.
Yeah.
And, I think that all just boils down to the foundation of the group, The foundation of the group was to get together and become better. You could probably read the entire thing if you want to go to tacticaldenttech.com and check it out. I had kind of like a original foundation, my intention of this. I wanted it to be more than just a tool company. I wanted it to be more of a paradigm shift and a movement in the industry. And I do believe we're achieving that. I believe it's, if you look at our group, number one, I didn't impose any massive rules over the group. So the only rule that we have specifically in there is that above and beyond the ones that were voted on by the group is that you can't make fun of people's family. Like if you get mad at somebody, you can't go in there and talk shit about the person's mother or talk shit about his father, which is just a bitch move anyway, So, and everybody actually agreed with that. That was the one thing. Or you're not going to be able to talk. Like if you're in an argument with somebody, you're not going to be like downgrading their kids or something like that, right? So, just in my opinion, that's just the biggest piece of shit on planet Earth. So we decided to axe that right off the bat. Everybody agreed, okay? And we've actually had to kick a few people out because of that one rule, believe it or not. But back on track to what we're talking about here, it's like one of the things like Robert Costello. I didn't know Robert was the type of technician that he is. He's doing some fucking phenomenal shit out there, right?
Did he order one of the handles? Why is that last name sound familiar?
Could have. I don't know. But the thing is, though, it's for instance, he did probably one of the worst fender edge blowouts as far as not I would say the width of it. Like literally the whole fender edge that he did on this one front fender was completely mashed in. I mean, it was probably 20 inches of the whole edge being out of whack and pushed in. So I'll give you guys an example. Even somebody like myself, who I've been doing this for a long time, but I'm just telling you guys, like, I don't know it all. I mean, I'm not even fucking close. I mean, I'm still out there every day trying to learn from people. And I'll give you an example of something that was
Nobody does, baby.
Yeah, right. But I'm going to give you an example though. I'll give you an example of how that dialogue helps. So, for instance, I asked Robert, I said, man, how did you keep that fender edge from blowing out? And he actually put up a couple pictures of on there, and he had what was the equivalent of not a rope ratchet, but a ratchet strap. Okay, so we all know what the ratchet straps are, almost like that nylon strapping. Well, what he done was he pushed the bulk of the dent out and got that edge kind of lined up. But as many of you dent technicians know, the more you push on it, you'll find blowout spots. So on that one, I mean, damn, there could probably been damn near 2 or 3 blowout spots, maybe more. Or maybe one real big dominant one that if it kept blowing out, it would crack its way all the way up in through the fender. Mm-hmm. So what Robert done was, and you guys know, like a lot of ratchet straps, they're long as shit. I mean, you can literally, you could probably wrap a car from front to back with some of them. So apparently what he did was he took a long ratchet strap and ran it kind of like over the fender around the front of the car, strapped over the hood. And once he got the fender back in shape, he took the blowout part and ratcheted it down. So that way he could push in front of the strap and behind the strap without worrying about that big blowout. And I would almost guarantee you that you could move it around. You could take it further back. You could take it further in front and reduce that blowout. So I'm actually looking forward to trying that technique, because although it seems like something that would be natural to think of and do, I've never seen it done, and I've never thought about it.
Do you think that, like, when you guys get some, like, crazy dent, you have to use your imagination on coming up with some type of idea on how to remove it?
You do, yeah, for sure.
There's more than meets the eye.
There's definitely more than meets the eye. I'll tell you guys something. One of the things that we've used in the past is obviously a Porta-Power. And I'll tell you an interesting story here. I had this guy that literally came in, and his taillight was so crushed in that he couldn't fit another taillight. And I mean, this was like an old piece of shit car. It's not the normal car you would see coming in, getting a dent removed, cosmetic repair. But the problem was his car couldn't even be driven, because literally the whole back of the taillight was mashed down to the point to where it basically, the taillight wouldn't fit in there any longer. Okay.
What type of car was it?
It was probably an old Toyota something or another.
Mm-hmm.
It was a car, so it was like old Toyota Camry. So did I remember? It may have been a Honda. I'm not sure. But I literally it was so hard to try to move that metal and try to get it up that we took a Porta-Power and put it under the edge of it, and it was lifting the car off the ground and not moving the metal.
Really?
Yeah. And we ended up doing all kinds of stuff to eventually manipulate this thing and mold it. The guy did not care what it looked like. He just wanted to fit a taillight in there. So I guess we kind of looked at it as our chance to kind of beat the shit out of a car until we could get a taillight in there.
Yeah. Was this just so that way he could drive the car?
Yeah, and I'm telling you, this guy practically begged us. I didn't want anything to do with it. Like I was really hesitant. I'm like, dude, no, you need to take that to a body shop. He's like, listen to me, man. You don't understand. I can't drive my car. He's like, I just need to be able to drive. I need to be able to get to work. He's like, the police already pulled me over. He's like, I just need to get this taillight in there. And he asked me like that, and I'm finally like, fuck it.
Yeah.
Leave it here. And then, so I'll give you a long story short. We're in there trying to move things around, and I've got a Porta-Power on the inside of there, right? And I've got the rubber part, kind of if you were right above the taillight, that little back part was completely mashed in. So I was trying to remold that out with a Porta-Power. Mm-hmm. And I had the front of the rubber Porta-Power on that area, and then I had the back of it on the metal wall that's back behind the seat. And that metal wall that's back behind the seat, I started jacking it out, and all of a sudden I hear bang! Damn Porta-Power shot through the metal wall where the seat was.
Oh my!
Couldn't believe it. I mean, but
you did get a taillight in there.
We did get a taillight in there.
Yeah.
It looked like shit. Wasn't my favorite. Definitely wasn't like Mr. who ran over the door and fixed it. It's pretty damn good, you know. It wasn't like that at all, but, you know.
I was laughing at how your shorts have like exceeded past your knees.
That's right, ma'am. I'm becoming a productive member of this society. Why don't you tell everybody
about these shorts that you found at Walmart that you absolutely love for $18?
Yeah, man. They are actually, and go out and try these. These are like Chuck Norris action shorts.
John loves these.
You can literally kick over your head in them. You can stretch everywhere. They've got the flexibility of a gymnast, yet the durability of a muscle man. I mean, it's super good shit. But honestly, they're made by Dickie brand. Mm-hmm. So I told her I'm going to bring back the flannels with the one button at the top, the white undershirt, you know. Get me some Chuck Taylors, and I'm going to be good to go.
Yeah.
But they're actually Dickie Flex Fit shorts.
They're really stretchy.
Yeah, so they got super flexibility. So when I'm down there doing my Zen yoga stance and I'm getting low on a car and I've got both legs spread like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, you can find them online too, can't you? Didn't you find them on Amazon?
Yeah,
as well?
I found them on Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be careful, though. There's many versions. You got to find the right version.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think they look good, too, to be honest with you.
They do when you stand up. When you're sitting down, then.
I kind of remind you of Jake from State Farm, don't I?
Yeah, you kind of remind me. Yeah, you remind me of Jake from State.
I'm wearing khakis.
You know what? It's just you got some nice legs, though. I'll tell you that.
See, that's why I like them short. I'm gonna start going old school and cutting them real. You know, get me some jean shorts, cutting them real short.
No,
and I'm gonna wear construction boots with them.
No, that look has
that's
been
sexy as fuck.
No, that has been overdone. That look.
One of these days, I'm gonna walk downstairs. I'm gonna have a pair of my jeans all cut up. She'll probably be like,
no.
She'll be like, "Boy, get your ass back upstairs."
You might be able to fit a pair of my shorts.
Boy, get your ass back upstairs. You're taking me. You're taking me to Pound Town.
I bet. Oh my God! I bet you could fit in a pair of my shorts. We should do that sometime.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you would really like that.
I would. You know, I get a giggle out of it.
Yeah. So
the stuff you do to make your wife laugh.
Yeah. Oh yeah, and you know, I actually did have to put a few rules on the contest because we were starting to get a few folks that were getting on some of the threads and just commenting, you know, and like 2 or 3 guys adding a bunch of memes and stuff like that, trying to run the comments on a specific contest to make it win, you know.
Being a butt weasel.
Well, the reason why I had to axe that is literally because then it would defeat the whole purpose of what I was just talking about.
Yeah.
You know, if people knew, like, let's just say I was some dude and I'm like, I wanted this Gorilla Grip so bad, I could just put a shitty repair on there and comment over and over and over and over again and try to win it. Yeah. And then it would just degrade the whole competition, which we don't want to do that, you know.
No.
And so I'll make sure to add that into the rules next time. And again, I don't mind like a little fluff, you know. I mean, I would recommend if somebody comments on your anybody who says, you know, hey man, great job, comment back and say thank you. Add a comment.
Mm-hmm.
You know, be engaged. I like to inspire engagement, you know.
Yeah.
And I also want to inspire people just to talk because I truly believe I felt this, especially over this latest contest. I mean, and keep in mind, these are dents that were done this month for the majority of them. I mean, I've seen a couple of them that, of course, people didn't read all the way through the contest rules, but most of them were done, you know, in January, February, in April. Okay, so this is the dents that were done in the month of April, and it's just crazy inspiring to see what's happening. And if you go back and compare that, like I used to go back onto DoorDing.com, which is really the first forum that we've ever had in our industry. Really the first form of communications for all dent guys, right?
Yeah.
And going back onto DoorDing.com, I would look at some of the things that we were oohing and awing about.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, it would be such a yawner today. It literally was the equivalent of seeing a soft, round dent the size of a basketball and going, wow, man, how'd you do it? You know, and if you go back and you compare that to today,
yeah,
it's crazy how far along we've came. And the only reason that's possible is because of people stepping up and putting these before and after pictures out there and really pushing other people to the next level, kind of like that 4-minute mile, letting us, we can see bigger possibilities.
Yeah.
Like, because now that I seen that door that dude fixed, and he didn't, guys, this wasn't just a before and after. The motherfucker showed process of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so you seen the thing that looked totally mashed. I mean, like literally, guys, I'm talking about taking a door, laying on the ground, running it over with a dually, like mashing the bottom of the door jamb out, everything. And literally watching somebody take it from that to pretty damn reasonable shape. It's the damn shape of a door now.
Yeah.
You know, when he got it, it was equivalent of wadding up a damn
Looked like
aluminum foil.
Yeah.
And wadding it up and then bring it back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Now, again, yeah, that is necessary. I mean, because the thing is, the guy's very, very, he's very, very proud to show his work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he has a passion for it. And we were actually talking about this, I don't know, a few weeks ago. Something came up talking about, is paintless dent removal an art or is it a process, right? And I just believe that's based on the individual. How much respect do you have for what you're doing? Because there's some guys, and I get it, man, I get the attitude. There's some guys that are like, we're fixing fucking dents, right?
Yeah.
We're not, doing heart surgery.
Yeah.
I mean, we're fixing dents. Just go fix them, shut up. And then there's other people that look at it like, nah, man, this is like how I provide for my family, right?
Yeah.
So they have a deeper level of respect for it,
Mm-hmm.
And I recommend anybody, like, I don't know, man, I would hate to have the feeling that whatever I'm doing just doesn't matter at all. Because the truth of the matter is, anytime you're being a productive individual in an economy, in an economy,
Yeah.
in an ecosystem, you're feeling part of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, whether you're showing the kid down the road what it's like to be a successful business owner,
Yeah.
I mean, there's deeper meaning in a lot of things, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess that's why I kind of got so, I guess I could say addicted to, I love it when I get a message from somebody that says, dude, I wanted to give up. Or, for instance, like Dino, the very first time I met Dino, who is running a great company now.
That's a good guy right there.
Yeah, and the very first time I met him, he was like, dude, it's because of you guys I didn't give up. I didn't stop, And that gives me, and I don't say, well, dude, I wouldn't look at him and say, dude, you just fixed dents. It's not like you're doing, no. He's providing for himself. He's providing for his family.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what's important,
Mm-hmm.
So
Dean is a very passionate, he's a very passionate, kind, loving individual.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's a PIMP.
Yeah, and he can fucking sing. Don't you remember that?
Oh,
the
that is
karaoke
right.
bar. He got up there, and everybody was just like, "Holy fucking shit!"
Yeah, everybody was blown away. Dino got up there and just
how come you didn't
laid it out.
I know, right?
Yeah.
And then I think after he got done singing, he left within 10 minutes after that. I was
Yeah.
like, "Where are you going? No, you must stay here and sing us another song."
Right. So that's what it kind of boils down to. The art is based on the individual, and I would bet the people that don't think that it's an art really don't like what they're doing, ultimately.
Yeah, it's probably that they're not doing their true passion.
Well, and because it's devalued, they devalue,
Yeah.
what they're doing because they probably don't like it.
Yeah.
So, which, again, I mean, I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm the kind of person that thinks you got to like everything you fucking do. But I would think at some point in life, but here's the thing. If you can run a business in paintless dent removal and you figure out how to advertise your service, you figure out how to scale the business, you figure out how to basically sell yourself, sell your clients, sell your services, you can take that same skill set and put it in other areas of life.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's just I really don't really like putting balls together, but I like the outcome when people get the tools and they're so stoked and then they're so happy that they used it and it's amazing and, this and that.
yeah, you really like the customer service end of it.
Yeah, I do.
You like hearing from the clients and hearing from the customers and communicating with them and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
You like what I don't like.
I know, right?
I honestly just don't like task-oriented stuff. I don't like going and getting a tracking number and then going back to an email and then emailing it to somebody. But she enjoys that stuff.
Yeah, I don't mind that at all.
Me, I'm always like, I don't know. I just
when we shipped out all them handles, the next day I was like looking at everybody's tracking information, and like the post office this time around, they were like, when we took all that stuff to the post office and whatnot, like them guys were like on it this time around, because next thing you know, within a couple days, I mean, they got them a lot quicker than what I thought.
Yeah, and we ended up getting them towards the end of the day on Friday, so we didn't think they would really ship until Monday, or at least get, in the system. But they apparently are working on the weekends now. Thank you, Amazon.com. You pushed a fucking government agency to do shit on the weekends. Only company that could have ever possibly done that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so... I mean, that's the big core message that I want you guys to take home, is that literally, try to help each other, try to learn from each other. We can become bigger and we can become better. Like today, so, all right, I'll give you guys an example, right? Before we were a little bit, we were more intertwined, right? And before we started talking things about how I came out with the tactical dent tech chart, I came out that after Paul Corden came out with the Paul Corden estimating chart. They're very similar. They got a little bit of differences. Me and Paul both see certain areas a little bit different. We've done them a little bit different. So, But that being said, before we all started communicating and talking about this kind of stuff, I'm here to tell you guys, like, I remember the days that I was doing hail damage cars for whatever the insurance company had wrote them for. So I would literally go out to an individual's house, and if an insurance company wrote $1,500 on the car, I'd do it for $1,500. And that wasn't because I was lowballing. That's because I had no fucking clue that you could even do a supplement when I first started doing this stuff. I mean, I was raised up in a body shop, but it wasn't a body shop that we dealt with insurance claims. It was in my dad's garage, working with him and working at his car dealership on old used cars that were being resold. Yeah. So I didn't have the same type of knowledge that some people may have had in the insurance game. And what I'm trying to get, the point that I'm trying to get here is that the more that we open up, the more we talk about things as a whole, we can bring the industry further.
Yeah.
It's just like, kind of like Napoleon Hill said, I'm going to give you guys an example here. Just like Napoleon Hill says, as a whole, our society in general has to move forward all together, okay? So we're always going to be held back by the least among us.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example of that, the welfare system. So the welfare system could get to the point to where it would hold people back at the level to where it would become a communist type system, and nobody moves forward in that type of system.
Yeah.
And believe me, I know fucking people from Russia. And I've trained people who live their life in Russia. And unless you're in the black market or unless you're some sort of government official, you're not doing shit with yourself in that country. You know what I mean? You don't have the opportunities that we have in this country, okay?
Yeah.
And the bottom line is, it's because everybody, they thought that by putting everything in a pot and equal distribution and all that kind of stuff was going to help out their society. But what had happened was it basically puts a cap on innovation. Like if you cap people's potential, their earning potential, you put a cap on innovation.
Yeah.
And it's the exact same thing that we have in just about anything. Anything you see in one area of life, you could pretty much apply it to another area of life. So like as an industry in whole, literally, if we don't try to bring up the least among us, then we're going to be held down by them, because they're going to be the ones lowballing. They're going to be the ones thinking to sell their services. All they have to do is cut price, right?
Yeah.
So literally, you have to educate people when they come into an industry to understand that they're leaving shit on the table, because sometimes it may not be the individual lowballing. It may be a lack of education.
Absolutely.
So anyhow, y'all, I think we could probably end the show with that.
Hey, I do want to say that Mother's Day is coming up. It's not this Sunday. It's next Sunday, which is on the 12th. Make sure you guys go out there and spoil your wives. Make sure your kids spoil their mothers.
She's giving me the evil eye at the same time.
Yeah, like I'm being for real. Appreciate.
Appreciate.
Yes.
And they better do that shit on Father's Day, too.
Oh, don't even. We do whatever you want on Father's Day.
You know, I always say on Father's Day, I'm like, everybody shut the hell up. I want a day of peace and quiet around here.
But isn't that right, though?
That's right.
Spoil your women on Mother's Day.
You know what I pulled on John the other day, don't you?
What?
I ended up farting right before he was coming down the steps. I was going to let him out, so I started walking down the steps really slow.
Messed up.
And he goes, "Oh, come on, man. Come on, Dad. Come on." I turned around, I was like, "Boy, I've smelt your shit for 17 years. You can smell mine for 5 minutes."
I don't think you've smelled it for 17 years.
You guys should try that on your kids. All right, everybody. So anyhow, we appreciate you, and we look forward to seeing you on that next one.
And remember, it's all about the motherfucking hustle.
Pew, pew.
Bang, bang.